you're doing so much, you're managing performance, you're coaching, developing others, but this little small thing can really transform a relationship. So the skill set you're most uncomfortable developing right now is actually the skill set that's going to allow you to have a breakthrough with your team. And you might be wondering, hey Angie, what is the skill set? So I'm going to say the word and you're going to have a reaction to it. That word is empathy. And your reaction to it might be aversion. And go with me for a second on this little journey, because I remember when Daniel Goleman's book, Emotional Intelligence, was brought to the market, and I was training and developing leaders all over the world. Now, this was many years ago. I won't tell you how many, but just trust me, I've been to many different leadership conferences in business, and I remember when the word empathy was introduced to business leaders, and they're like, ugh. It was met with just a strong negative reaction because it felt like it took the skill set of leadership development from soft to softer, like, oh, I have to lower standards to accommodate people. I've got to pamper people. I got to baby people. And there was just a lot of misunderstanding about this word empathy when it was first brought to the mainstream stage in the world of leadership development. So I spent a better portion of my career helping reframe what empathy is, because it is that missing link. You're already working so hard. You're doing so much. You're managing performance, you're coaching, developing others, but this little small thing can really transform a relationship. And I know, I gotta admit, empathy is actually really hard for me to develop. I've been writing about leadership and talking on the stage, and I share with many of you in many different formats that I grew up pretty self-focused. Some would say selfish, and I probably would say selfish too, that I do put a lot of effort and attention on my point of view. And for the better part of my young career, I thought everybody saw the world the way that I saw the world. Then I got into the Marine Corps. I learned about this concept of service-based leadership, that really unique body of work that helps you transform a group of individuals into a team. And it was so beneficial, because what that inspired and allowed me to do was start to see the world not from just my point of view, which is very limited, by the way, but start looking at the world from other people's point of views. Then I can understand. So I had a young Marine, and I'll give you a certain situation so you can really understand how to make empathy work for you. I had a young Marine who came to work on my team, and he was just 18, really first time he'd ever been away from home. And this was like Marine Corps Base Hawaii, so this was very, very, very far away from home. He was struggling. He couldn't meet the physical fitness standards. He'd show up to work in a disheveled uniform, which is a no-no in the Marine Corps. Like, we really care about how we show up in our uniforms, polished boots, ironed camis at the time. Like, it was a really big deal. He'd always be just a couple minutes late, which is not the 10 minutes early standard that I was used to demonstrating and would expect, of course, my team to demonstrate too. So I know, like, the old Angie would have gotten really upset, angry, and acted on that in a coaching and developing sort of way. But that's not what this young Marine needed. He needed me to understand his point of view. And his point of view was, hey, I'm homesick. I don't have a lot of friends here. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know if this was the best decision for me. I see what my friends are doing back home, and I want to be doing that too. I wonder if I fit in, belong. And just having that second, just to look at the world through his point of view, allowed me to really change my approach to having a conversation with him. I wasn't going to lower the standards. I mean, that was like a no-no in the Marine Corps. You're not going to lower the standards to accommodate somebody who couldn't meet them. I changed my tone, though, in my approach to coaching and developing him to get up to that higher standard of performance. So that's really the spirit of empathy. It doesn't mean that I have to agree with you. Not at all. I don't have to change my opinion to accommodate you, but I do need to be able to see the world through your point of view. Now, how does that sound? Does that make it easier for you to palate the word empathy? I hope so. All you really have to do is understand the world through other people's point of views and recognize that's their truth. That isn't your truth per se, but if you can at least appreciate their truth, you can have a better opportunity to be connected to them. So here's how you activate empathy in the workforce. I'm just going to give you some really simple ideas. So if you don't feel like you have the skill set, you're at least going to get an idea of how to activate it and get confidence in building it. And you're really going to be able to watch your connection with your team grow stronger. So I want you to think about having one-on-ones. Hopefully by now you know me, right? In the coaching and developing space, if you're not having one-on-ones with your team members every other week, you're missing a tremendous opportunity to really build engagement, connection, have career conversations, make sure that people are doing okay. Because I know already you're checking in on projects, but are you checking in these one-on-ones about the people who are performing those projects? So when you're at one-on-ones, before you have them, really think about the person. Just really recollect what's going on in their world. What projects are they working on? What are they struggling with? How's their performance been? And yeah, outside of their working world, what's going on? Are their kids playing sports? Is their spouse traveling a lot with work? Just really understand that person. So that's what step number one, like prepare for your one-on-one conversations by really understanding that person. Number two idea. Start having beyond work conversations. You can really learn a lot about somebody's goals, their aspirations, their motivation to coming into work, and you can use that. And I don't know necessarily how to use that across the board. Remember, leadership is very personal and it's very individual. So the more you know about somebody, the more you can ask and inquire and get connected to them, and then of course help them. Like if I know that you have a goal and I have resources that can support that goal, I'm going to offer that to you. That is just my service to you, going back to that service-based leadership concept I talked about earlier. So again, one-on-ones, do your homework, prepare. Number two, try to think about the holistic needs of your teams and how you can support them. This third practice is so key. Small talk. Small talk. You have to have small talk. So think about when you're checking in, before you jump into project details, just be able to say, hey, what's going on? And when they say nothing, be able to say, wait a second, I know more than nothing is going on. Can we have a conversation? Like what you're thinking, what's on your mind? Tell me about yesterday. What were some of the highlights of your day? Ask open-ended questions. It's a really great way to start a conversation because the more I know about you, again, the more I'm going to be able to use that information to be able to add value to our conversations. So there you go. It's just taking a little bit more time with the team members that you're engaging with and just getting to know them as whole people. Remember, people have two fundamental needs. They want to be seen, they want to be heard. And empathy allows you to do just that. I just shared with you 3 simple ways that you can demonstrate empathy. What I want you to do is add to the dialogue by putting in the chats below. Share with me your best empathy practices and how you've grown in this skill set. Because believe me, I am a student on this journey with you. We all need to get better at this, and I'd love to learn from you. And do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Actual Angie. I look forward to staying engaged and have a great rest of your day.